Guys, gonna show you guys the process of design with my hub world. Um, yeah, so you guys probably saw if you checked out the Twitter for, Splatty's Adventure, you probably would have seen this gray box area. And right now I'm working on designing and being cost effective. It looks like a lot right here, but it's actually quite less than that. And I'm gonna show you guys how to keep your thermometer low. And you also gotta remember I have my character in play as reference to scale. And even though I have them high up, I'm gonna go ahead and scoot them down. Um, I value gameplay over anything. So right now, first of all, what happened here? Yeah, right now I'm making my wood pattern, and I could be okay with this, but I have attention to detail, a little bit of OCD, and there's nothing wrong with that. But my wood texture I made, the wood kind of went inside each other, and it gives it like this bump map where it looks like one, piece of the wood's higher than the other, and it bothers me. Okay, the floor being all the same color, that's fine, but I want to add just a teeny bit of variation, just a teeny bit. So I have my three separate pieces. So I'm gonna go ahead and just scoot this one up here. This grid is too small for that right now. There we go. Then I can back this up. There. So you see I have one piece of wood and I rotated it and flipped it, and I'm probably gonna get a little bit of repeat, like a repeating pattern, but that's okay. But right now, what I'm noticing, I don't like these two planks being the exact same color, so I'm gonna have to change it up and have like a dark here, a light here, so then this one should be a little bit more drab, a little bit more grayed out. So I'm gonna just tone it down to where it looks just a little grayed out. Just a little bit. It's almost too much. Bring it over. Because if anybody's getting a wood floor, they're going to want it to look the exact same, like tone and shape. But at the same time, um, your wood floor wouldn't look 100% even either. And so since I did that there, I can't do it on this piece. So I'm going to just change this one up just slightly to make sure both. I hope. Yeah, see, that doesn't look too bad. Now I have all these. I'm going to leave that reference there, bring them over here. Lower them down and delete this old floor because it really bothered me. I mean, that's a complete floor, but sometimes going back and fixing something isn't bad. It's not a bad thing. As long as you're not wasting time. So let's see. I'd rather have this poking through the wall a little bit. We'll raise this up. There we go. Bring this to this wall. You guys will see this scene come alive. So I already went and did some playtesting with these, like this color, and some of the obstacles I want to make sure the distance is right. But now I want to make sure everything flows together. Let's see. No, I don't like it. Start over one more. There we go. And then push you forward. Perfect. Go ahead, clone you, group you guys together. So now that this is grouped together, I have my wood texture where it has multiple colors, but this is all just one plank, rotated and slightly shaded. Now that I have this pattern where I can kind of stencil it together, and how I structured my object, I can take this piece, slide it down, and then when I slide it over, it'll just puzzle piece itself together, and I still have a really nice floor. And so I see a lot of people doing great creations and stuff, but um, there's still a lot of optimizations to be had. And I don't know if you can tell, as I'm doing this, I might have to go up this time. Yeah, I think I have to go up. As I'm doing this, my thermometer is not going up one bit. And that's the trick to what we're doing with Splatty Adventure. I just created this whole floor and my thermometer didn't go up one bit. It's already up a lot right here, but if I was to delete all this, you don't see anything go away because of how we design our assets. And you'll get to see a little bit of that. So obviously, that looks so much better. Yeah. No, this looks 10 times better than what I had earlier. So now this rug is a little too high, and I want it to kind of be circular. So there's my scale. Let's go to modes. I'm gonna sculpt me a rug. I'm gonna use the cylinder. Choose my base color. I think red is what I had planned. Not a bright red, because that's unrealistic. And then I'm already gonna change my fleck pattern, and I'll show you guys that reason in a little bit. I kind of want this. I don't know if I'm gonna do variant looseness, but I'm gonna turn the looseness up already. Okay, so you turn the looseness up, and if you stretch this, honestly, I think it costs more. I believe. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm gonna find out right now. There we go. So now as I take this rug, I'm gonna scale it up to roughly the size I want it. Paste it. I can go under the floor, make it a little bit bigger, just because I don't need everything to go through the floor. Make it a little bit bigger than the rug, and then erase that. And for right now, that'll be our base rug. This rug looks a lot thicker, so I'm going to take it and I'm going to put it into the ground. But as you can tell, it has that painterly look to it, and that's kind of what I'm going for. Except for the undertone. A lot of rugs have like multicolors and like a darkness to it, so I'm going to turn up the tint amount to give it that nice inner like shadow, kind of like with shag rug, I guess you would say. If I want to, I can add a little bit of color into it. I was thinking about seeing if it'll work, but I'm not 100% sure, because I was wondering if I can get like just a little bit of that tannish gray in there. Might have to turn it up more. Yeah, there we go. But it almost looks like the wood. Yeah, almost looks like the wood. I'll just keep it black. So the rug looks pretty good, but it looks a lot bigger to be shaggy. So I'm going to go to the fleck properties in here. Actually, no. Just my sculpture detail. Turn it up just a teeny bit. And then I'm going to change the flex. That's also very important. I like that look, but you got to make sure it has the overall feel. These ones definitely I don't think will work. Yeah. I think I like this one. And then I need to have it this adds a little bit of texture. It like, I don't know if you guys noticed, but when you use impasto, it raises your fleck up just a little bit. You probably can see it like move. It raises it, gives it just that little bit of like extra fuzziness, but it's a nice little texture add. And then ruffle, I think, is where it scatters the direction. Yeah. Which isn't bad, because now it looks like a even more complete shaggy rug, especially from this distance. And you gotta think about where your camera is. If my camera's at this distance, it should look like a rug. And at this distance, it looks like a pretty decent rug. But I'm probably gonna make the flex just a teeny bit smaller and decide whether I want to add that detail. See, I'm keeping it at 11%. I think that's fine because it's a small piece. Now, temporarily, I'm gonna take my cylinder and I'm going to paint on this rug. So let me change the color. Most rugs are, we'll go with a yellow for right now. It'll probably be a better pattern later, but for right now, I think I want it to have just a little edge. Nope, just a little edge of another color. So in a sense, I'll go this first, and then I'll choose my red. There, that's almost there. I'm gonna shrink it up just a little bit. Actually, I'm gonna turn the grid off. It's not as good as me by hand. Let's see, and now I can scale it up and just slightly move it so the edges are slightly a different color. Ever so slightly. There we go. It's just a nice little touch, and I can tweak that shade with this. I'm gonna desaturate a little bit because rugs really aren't super duper bright unless you want to pay good money for them. This is a kid's room. Parents don't care. It's too dark. There we go. And now we just gotta get that shine. Rugs aren't shiny, but you can add just... See, you wouldn't want that. That doesn't look normal. But I like to add just a teeny bit. And this metallicness is good, but it's also bad. And you don't want to go way too waxy, because then you lose some of that light detail. So I always go like 15. So then if I was to have another light in this room, which I most definitely will, and you'll see this extra little detail that comes with the impasto and the shininess. So then right there, the shininess is too much. Right there. That looks good. Of course, the dark spots would be darker, but you can't tweak that in general. And now technically, I could make another shape and make that black, you know, so then the object underneath the red flecks wouldn't be shiny. But I'm not gonna do that because it's a small piece. It's just the center of the room for right now. And eventually I'm going to want this room to look like a kid's room. Moving on to the basic wall. I don't know if stretching does cost more. Basic wall, kids room color. We need a base color a little bit darker than what most people would think. Let's see, turn on grid. And then we're gonna stretch. I'm gonna try this stretching and see exactly what's happening. Because what I've been doing currently, I've just been cutting because I know cutting doesn't add a percentage, but I have noticed I stretched a couple of objects and you don't increase, but there's still like even if something's 1%, like most of my objects, even if something's 1%, there's still a percentage there that you might not be able to see. Okay, so that's good. Let's zoom out. Let's go ahead and place that because it's just a wall. And then I can come back and tweak it later. Let me delete this one. There we go. Now, in order to get this wall to look right, same thing. I gotta see what the is gonna do when the light hits it. And most walls aren't shiny. And I'm gonna want this wall to look flat. So here's a tip to make your wall look a little bit flat. Get your color. I think I'm gonna go with this color. Turn it to 100% of that saturation. Then go to the inner color, and you have to match it, but you not 100% matching it, because when you fill this one up 100%, now you got to play around with this one to make it the closest to the outside flake, the overlaying flake. And if you go to original color saturation, I think it desaturates all the flecks maybe. I've done it before, but I'm trying to get this even more flat than it is without making this high risk scope. And we're almost there for the most part. And that looks a lot better than just the original. Let's see. Now we can turn up the shininess. There we go. And that looks good. That's a very bland looking plain like plain wall. But as an artist, you always want to not stop there and find a pattern, that the fleck pattern that will represent what you're trying to get across. So that looks like a painted wall. And it looks really good. And all I did was make just one basic shape. Now I think what I'm going to do is try to make the trim of the wall, just for that extra detail. So even though this wall's right there, I'm going to move it out the way. We're going to try to get the trim on the bottom, because I don't really care about the roof. So go back into our sculpt, choose the color of my trim. We're going to go with not full white, and that's actually going to cause a problem. Yep, I'm going to have to make another shape. Do I want people to jump on the trim? Possibly. You know what? I need to pull up the chat on my YouTube channel. There we go. So now if you guys have questions, I can answer them. Varying looseness. I'm going to stretch this all the way across because all the walls are going to be the same. Stretch you down. That's good. Let's see that. That looks good. And then I'll move it in after I paste it. Turn off the grid. Move it in. Trim doesn't necessarily look like that. Now that trim is usually a little bit shinier than walls because they're painted smooth. I'll give them more flat than usual. Change up the fleck pattern now. We're gonna go with something a little more straight because this is just the panel, you know, the whatever you want to call it. And then we're gonna comb it. I kind of hate this combing because I don't fully ever get like horizontal or vertical. And also needs horizontal. I'm looking at this one right here. I'm trying to get it to be horizontal. One more go before I just give up and fix it later. Gosh, dang it. Letting go on that R trigger is... There we go, or right bumper, whatever you want to call it. It's really annoying. For right now, there we go. And then go inside this room. Bring this close. And the reason I'm not using a grid is because sometimes it's annoying. And I feel like when you have a grid, you're conforming to hard lines and shapes and trying to make things perfect. When in reality, art isn't perfect. It's, it's what you make of it. And my other phone just died, so we have no chat. And look at that, I already found a little gap in the wood. This trim's way too tall. Lower it down. Then we'll go inside this group because I don't necessarily want the player to jump on it too much. We'll slide it in. I'll sacrifice a little bit of detail with this trim by increasing the detail of it because everything is relatively low. There we go. You have this nice little trim pattern, and I could have like all the fancy kind, but I just need a basic wall shape that gets the point across with this floor. Let me see, do I want to increase that a little bit? What the heck is that? Oh, okay, I know what that is. There we go. Delete that wall. Take this. Now I can rotate it. And you'll slowly see this room start to come together. Move over. How far back do you go? Not that far. And I want to get these levels out to you guys so you guys can play on them. But it's a process because I don't like putting out crap. And as you can tell, this is looking nice. This is looking nice, Gotta turn off this impasto so it's actually really flat. Now I want to see some because I remember seeing this earlier. This makes it cross up and down. Yeah, that's what I thought. So the ruffle kind of like throws at an angle. From a distance doesn't look bad, but it doesn't go left and right. I'm gonna leave it there. And to make this room more interesting, we're gonna have an accent wall. So we have red, we have blue. What else would a kid's room be? Probably be a darker blue. Not like that. Like that. Let's see how that looks. There we go. And then it's gotta go and turn the inside color of it a little bit darker. A little bit more blue. There. Looks good, looks good. One more wall, which is this one right here. So I'm going to zoom out, move this wall. Sometimes I hate when it goes down versus forward, but that's the angle I just move at. Zoom in. That looks correct, but I'm going to push it back just to see. Yeah, that's correct. So now I'll take my trash can, move that away, and then I'll go to my planks. Hopefully nobody heard that, because I haven't released that yet. So this, we're gonna just shrink you up to make you make sense. And to be a good show, I'm going to copy you. I'm going to let you blend together. Maybe. Let's bring this back. Looks about right. Yep, that looks good. Are you tags? Alright, good. And then I'm gonna take this wood. And this is what I was trying to tell you guys. Depending on how you make your objects, you can get multiple uses out of them. So I'm going to take this wood and this, oh gosh. Take both of these. Gonna tweak them both at the same time. And since these shelves are gonna be right here on the wall, going to make them red like the carpet. So I go to red. Then I go with a darker red. And you can already tell, like, it looks like red wood. And it has the little sheen of the wood. And that's exactly what I was going for. Yep, there we go. Let me see, it looks too cherry. I need to look a little bit more fake flatty, like it's painted. There we go. Looks a little more painted. Just a little bit more shine to it. A little bit less waxiness, because this is really, it's really just a painted piece of wood versus a polished piece of wood, because your kid's gonna be storing all their toys on it. Gonna group that together. Just like that. Move it over. Gonna move you up here. Bam. And then I need one more right here. Right there. And then here's another trick I'm going to do. Actually, I should have did this beforehand. I might have to go back. Yeah, let me go like this. I need precise movement. 90 degrees. Rotate it 90 degrees again. Most carpenters will make their wood really flush when it comes to their crafts. And I don't mind to hang it down either. But see, now what we're getting is this nice little shelf-like look to it. Come on. Where's 90 at? There we go. Now, I don't know if this will work, but I'm going to go ahead and do it anyways. Because my fear is I do this, the player's going to jump off of it. I know the player's going to jump off of it, taking it away. Okay. Let's see if I can lower the quality of this just in case I get too many. Yeah, see, that's already pretty high. Wait, this will lower all of them in general. I can't do that. Yep, don't want to lower the quality of all of the wood. It's probably like my most expensive object I made that's going to actually be in the level because this is 2%, but the hub world actually has different rules I want to keep in touch. Then if I move you over and lower you. Let's see if that's possible. Don't watch this if you want the game a little bit spoiled for you. Because that comes with playtesting. Oh. That looks impossible. But nothing's impossible. That's impossible. Forgot to do that. Make sure you have your tags labeled, peoples. It's very important. Good. Made it. It's looking good. Looking good. Now this block right here. I can get rid of you. Get rid of you because technically that'll be like a vinyl look to it. And then I'll have some drawings, some scribblies on the wall in the future. Let's see. What's the next project to tackle? I definitely think my window. So what I'm going to do is delete this wall. Take my darker wall. Rotate it 180. Let me see if this actually goes outside the... Yeah, so I'll just have to have an extra piece, separate piece right there. That's fine. I'll make that an Easter egg. Just adding a separate piece underneath the bed. I'm gonna have to write that down so I don't forget it. Okay, so now I got my last wall and I want this window. I'm gonna edit the shape. Go back to a cube. Then I'm going to stretch it to make my window. Yeah. See, this is where stuff costs a lot. It's because I'm making a shape inside of a shape. Technically, I should have made this window in two pieces, but if I just make a standard wall, it'd be a lot better for me in the long run, where I don't have to waste time. And I'm just gonna cut a hole right through this window. Perfect. Now I can get rid of my placeholder window. And then, temporarily, I'll go ahead and go to gadgets. Where's the text tool at? I think it's in the pink ones, which doesn't make any sense to me. Text display. For right now, I'm going to place this on the wall. Need to put space. Boom, 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 boom. We don't need border. Where's the border at? Right here. Don't need a border for a window. We're gonna have the opacity down to 20. Most glass actually has a tint of green, and people don't know that. Actually, all glass has a tint of green. No curviness, no auto fit, and then we want it in scene. So now I can take my glass, move it back, scale it up. Oh, not like that. Scale up just a little bit. A little bit more. Bam. Push it back. And then, now with that glass, I have my window for the room. And you literally just start to see this come together. So now we're going to decrease the intensity, because that's pretty hefty. I wonder if this is just the edge of the texture. I can look at that later, given the glass and texture. So for right now, to keep my mind at ease, I'm going to make the most cheapest shape you could possibly make. Literally the most cheapest shape you possibly can make. And I just don't want it to be a fleck. No, I'll make it a fleck. Take a white fleck. Go with the stamp tool. This stay upright never works for this. Surface snap. Bam. Gonna grab it. I'm gonna make this fleck really, really huge. That's actually a really nice texture on that fleck. Yeah, I like that. So from inside my window, you have that. We're gonna make it glow. Get out of here. Move. I need to make it glow. So now we're gonna make the outside glow. Just give it a little bit more. Emit light, nope. There we go. So now when the player's looking outside, they'll have like this outdoorsy look to it. Then I'm gonna go ahead and get me a light. And I'm gonna fake simulate the light coming in. I like my stuff to be bigger so I notice and know what it's for. Gonna angle this up. And then I'm gonna take this light. Okay, I have to angle this really. There we go. It's a bright day. Let's see. The range of the beam is as wide as it can go because it's coming into the room. Gonna have it fade, and then what we're gonna do is you can tell it looks super bright outside. We're gonna slowly turn it down. And this is just gonna add that extra like, oh, the window's there. And you see what it does to the floor. I really think I should do that to the rug. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do it to the rug. It's starting to bother me. I'm wondering if I can get away with it just with a paint, a little paint sculpture. Let's see if I can do it with a paint sculpture. Going with a circle, black, flick, should be stamp, stamp. I'm looking for the right one. These are all the same. Now let's see if I can do this. Super rough, super waxy, 100% finish. That should make it super flat actually. There we go. So now it's super flat. Turn precise moving off. Just for a second. Let's see if I can just ever so slightly get it. It's working. You can kind of see where it's working the best at, which I want it to work the best in the center. I think I'm adding a little bit of metallicness to this because it might give it the red I was looking for. Yeah. There we go. And now I can go back to my fleck if I can select it. Now I don't have to have it black, I can have it just a dark, really dark red. There we go. Go back to this. Let's see. What looks decent? It's starting to look a little bit better. I think this has to be, oh gosh, I think it has to be a little bit red. Because this adds that extra bit of shine to it. There we go. Works all the same way, or whatever way. Well, let's just raise it just a little bit more. Just a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, that looks fine. Yeah, see, I have just enough shine on this rug from that window where it looks like a rug. That's exactly what I wanted. Now it's starting to look realistic for Splatty. And this room's coming together. You have the light through the window. So now I gotta make the window pane. Let me see how I like these. You can get on them. It's not actually a bad thing. Yeah, it's not a bad thing. Just means I have to slide the furniture away from the wall because it's so thick. But that could lead for some little cool little secrets. Good. I really want to focus on this window right now because it's starting to bother me. Let's make gadgets. Where's gadgets at? disappear. There we go. So, this window pane. I know I said I wasn't going to do it, but I think I'm still going to do the wood. Just don't want to get too caught up in everything has to be wood. Because they're not. Interesting dilemma. I'm gonna go with the wood. I'm gonna blow it up. Here we go. Blowing this wood up. Need to be on grip mode. I know what I'll do. So I'm gonna go ahead and change this wood to the white. And that's might be what I do for the panels. I might change the panels to white too. So we got that, and then we're gonna slightly change you. Actually, no. We'll go over here, go at original saturation. There. I could turn you down just a little bit. All white? Yeah, it has to be all white. Yeah, that looks good. Because it's painted. Yep, there we go. So what I'll do is I'll take these little things, cover them with my wood texture I just made, my wood, and then I'll use a box behind this one to hide the fact that it's not all made from one object multiple times. It'll just be the faces and the edges of it. Turn on grid for this. Pull this out. Leave that seam just like that. There we go. And then delete that. Now my graphics just went down. And you just witnessed it go from 14 or 11 on down. So now I'm gonna go with I don't think I have to be cheap and make a new object. Cause I optimized this one. I think yeah. I think I'm just gonna take it through the wall. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take it through the wall. How far out will they see though? It's a good question. Because if I change the size of it up, that makes it a unique object. Don't want to do that. Right there, slide it over. Right there, now below it looks good. Above it looks good. Slide you all the way over. Line you up right there. And then I just need a placeholder block. Because I don't. I might be able to get with it. I know what I'll do. I'll shrink it up. This is just playing it smart. So I shrunk it up. It shouldn't go through that. Yeah, see? That's perfect. Perfect. Close that gap off. Yeah, so even if you're up here, you used to jump, you wouldn't be able to see that. That works. And bam. I like it without the texture. Yeah, I like it without the texture. Slightly crooked now. Realign. There we go. All the way up. All the way over. Quick save. Looking good on time. So it's been about 15 minutes. About 50 minutes. And so far, I've done. We've done the floor. I've done the walls. This wall, the window. I haven't got to the trim yet, but I can do that. And then the objects I'm going to save because they're a little bit more unique and where I have to think about what I'm doing. But I definitely want to make sure I get some of this other stuff right. Hmm. Yeah, that's the correct size for it. A little bit bigger. Looks good. It's off. That's weird. I wonder is this one off? Nope. There we go. Copy, move you up. Let's see what we can do here. I don't think most um yeah, most houses don't have anything this awkward, but they do have this style of window pane and like architecture where you can get away with that. So that's gonna be the one I'm gonna go with. And then later on, I'll make some drapes and a little railing to cover that. So now let's see. Got my soft rug. Has a nice shine to it. Have my bed and my nice window. That's letting light in. Beautiful light. My floor looks good. This is a dresser that I'm jumping on, by the way. And I have a trash can, and my shelves are done. This is supposed to be a block. I have to paint that. Gonna have to create that, create that. Let's see, what else can I do without creating on this day? Oh, the window panes, the trim. Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can fix that because it's bothering me. Hmm. That looks better. There we go. That's what I want. This looks 10 times better than that. There we go. Go ahead, put you next to the wall. Lower you down into the ground. How big can I make you where you don't look too bad? I'm gonna go like that. That way I'm not copying you a bunch, increasing gameplay. So it should only take 2. How big is trim at houses? They're pretty short, so this looks good. Now we're moving the trim all the way over so that the trim of this house looks good. There we go. And then take my grid off, put my precise moving on. You really just gotta look at what your initial goal is. That looks like a seam. It's going from one edge of the room all the way to the other edge of the room, and it's low quality, but looks high quality. And that's what we're going for. Low quality, but looks high quality. Because that's how you can get the most out of your game. And how I'm going to get the most out of my hub world is to make things work for what they need to do. And then we're going to push this into a wall. It's going to have to be precise. Sorry if you're in a chat. My phone has died, so there's no chat available right now. But if you watch, you can pick up some of these tips where you see I have pretty good realism right here in this world that was nothing but gray boxes. And also game design, just like this wood texture. Painted on, but this wood texture only costs 2%. Nobody's gonna get this close. So from here, this looks really nice. Okay, let me go ahead and put this other trim on. Grid snap. Move you all the way back. Into the wall. And down. And then let's see. Slide you that way. Of course I'll have a problem later with that, but that's okay. When that day comes, I'll just redo the trim again. Just for that one side. And then I'm going to push this trim into the wall. right there. There we go. Now, eventually, I'll add the, little light rays with the text gadget, so it looks nice. But getting this wall down and these two different paints is good. So when the player's playing, we have really nice home feel to it, and he actually feels tiny in comparison to this bedroom and that dresser. Let me get up here and see. Let me go to the window. Yeah, see, that looks nice. That feels good. Looks clean and sharp. I'm only at 9% graphics. Oh, fell. Works good. Yep, okay. Moving on to the next part, I'm going to have to make these curtains. Do I want to make these curtains move? It's a good question. I think I do. I think I'm gonna have to figure out how to make these curtains look like they're moving. Let's go with red for right now. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with this one. No, I don't want that. Where's the line tool? Let's go to the clone tool. I don't want that. I want this. Distance. Don't need that. Nearly that many copies. Just have to see what wind will do to these curtains. And how small will I have to make them. Because everything doesn't have to be super realistic. I mean, even that could be okay. But now that I know, I'm just going to start a new one and make my fleck pattern just a little bit smaller. Let's go with this color. Yep, turn it sideways. And now I'm gonna draw. No, don't. Can I stamp them down sideways? And it does the same thing? Let's find out. What I'm trying to do is minimize the, well, maximize the points on this curtain. That just came right off. It's not gonna work. And now what I'm doing is I'm just cloning the fleck because I like this pattern. I guess as long as it's still in the same plane, it works. Okay, let's see what you do when I add physics to you. Will you do the same thing? Nope, you won't because you're all separate stamps. So they do have to be kind of drawn, but see, when you draw, it just rotates it, and I don't like that. Well, that was decent. Nope. See what happens here. I went over it multiple times. Yep, I think I'm gonna go with this version right here. Even though it's cheap, I'm gonna go with it. Just turn the wind down because number one, the window's not gonna be open. It's gonna be a vent on the ground. Go to my clones. Spread them out a little bit. That's fine. And then I'm gonna go to Impasto to make it a little more depth. There we go. Turn the finish all the way up. Make it really waxy so you don't see the shading in it. What kind of curtains are these? Let's see. I'm gonna turn them into a darker red. There we go. They look kind of torn. Let's see if I can change up the fleck pattern. Let's see what combinations we can get. Yep, that looks scary. Doesn't look bad. It's flat though. I'm looking for something a little artistic. Let's try the square. You see the square again? Nope. I'm gonna go with these. There we go. I'm gonna go with this. Curtains are usually in front of your window. Maybe I should raise it up a little bit. And then I'm gonna copy it to the other side. After I spread the clones out just a little bit. And this is going the opposite. Nope, let's go in the same direction. There we go. So we start to get these curtains. I'm not sure how I feel about them running into that. I think I'm gonna shrink them up because that bothers me. What happens if I merge them? They'll flow together, but at the exact same time. It's a little weird. Curtains don't do that. Yeah, I'll leave it like that for now. And then since this is the room, I'm going to paint the top of them. Come on, there we go. I'm just gonna... You understand what kind of kiddish form I'm going for. It's a kid's room, so it's supposed to look kiddish. But it's not supposed to be transparent. Just killed my whole entire curtain I was going for. There we go. That's better. Good. Edges. Good. I'll add the detail to it later. right here. Have you guys seen uglier curtains than this? Yeah. But no phones, I have no reference of what curtains actually look like, and I cannot get the rest of that. But I have this. I have my wood flooring. I have my nice rug. I have some torn curtains. This boy must be a savage if he's gonna be tearing curtains like that. That's definitely not gonna pass inspection. I'm gonna go ahead and work on the God rays. Cause I don't feel like designing curtains with nothing in mind. So let me go ahead and get these God rays made. Let's see. I'm gonna rotate you. Boom. I'm gonna line you up with this gadget. There we go. Now that you're lined up with the gadget, I'm gonna scale you properly. Then I'm going to tweak your texture. Really don't need one, but I want a texture. Okay. You just yellowish white, cause your light coming in. Where's my border width? Let's see. Where's texture strength scale? Oh, that's really cool. You see that little texture? Now that's cool. There we go. Almost there. There we go. A little bit of those rays. What if I make it all the way tiny though? No, it made a haze. Just really needs to be there. Extend. There. Now we have our God rays. Where it comes there. So take this. I'm gonna scale it up to the size of the window. There we go. And move you right in front of the window. Yeah, see that looks good. You see this giant ray of light until I'm gonna add just a teeny bit of logic, and here's a little trick. For right now, I'll fix that in a second too. Just a teeny bit of logic. The zone is gonna be anywhere where you're that close. It should kinda disappear. So this zone, if I can get it, it's gonna go into this port. How would I do this? The opacity is very low anyways. I'll do it anyways. Number required, detect it. I might need a knot though. go with not. Just for right now. Not detected. Well, that doesn't help. And what is it detecting? Detecting player. That works. There we go. So you see the God ray when you're away from it. Right here it doesn't work. And that's where I just have to tweak the zone. Probably make it like a plane so that when the player gets close to right here, you don't see the God ray, but when you're away from it, you can kind of see the light rays beaming into the room. Because underneath it, I mean, it's just harsh into the ground. What is that? You see that blur? Yeah, that's something that I'm gonna just go ahead and see if I can quickly fix that. And then I might call it because I'm about to do some asset creation outside of this level. I'll take the zone and move it this way. Yeah. Hmm. I wonder is it immediate? No. Yep, I know what it is. It's the initial zone. So that initial zone was affecting it. So now once you exit that initial zone, you see it. I gotta get that to blend. It's better. I think I'm gonna allow them to go behind the dresser. Yeah, I think that's what I want. It's not I think, I know that's what I want. So just in case I forget. Well, that doesn't help that the dresser's that thick. Okay. So that's something I'm gonna have to fix. Let me move this trunk. And then we can move this cube away from this corner. And we can move this and this outside from outside the edge. I can shrink you up. There we go. I don't like those curtains. They'll have to be static. That's the only way. Yeah, just so I know I don't like them when I come back. Let me go ahead and quick save this. Yep, unfortunately this won't be ready until some time, but when it is, it's going to be nice. But everything just has to be perfect. It just can't be thrown together. Everything. This is great. That's great. This is great. This panel and that window's great. The lighting is getting really, really good. Now I gotta make all of these and that, those objects, and then there is a ceiling fan. You just guys just can't see it. I feel like dealing with a ceiling fan 24/7. And then this window is nice too. I really like the light from the outside and how bright it is. It should be that bright. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you picked up on some tricks and tips as I was designing. Wish I had my phone so I could have been in a chat with you guys, but unfortunately stuff happens. So yeah, follow Splatty Adventure on Twitter and yeah, stay tuned because this is going to be an amazing platformer. We got a lot in store and some awesome music. Take care.